about watermelon. Watermelon is the star of the show in today's daily dish, deep fried watermelon, which is something I've never tried or seen. Here to make it for us, Chef Nick Liu. I love that we're doing this. Yep. And I want to talk about inspo. Where'd the inspiration come from for this dish?
Okay, so the inspiration came from my uncle. So my uncle every Thanksgiving would make this dish, and it was like this thin piece of pork belly, and then pickled watermelon rind, which is like very Hakka Chinese, rolled up into it, battered and deep fried with a sweet chili sauce. Ooh. And this is like, I take in all the elements of that and change them and deconstructed them a little bit to put it on my menu. And this is one of those dishes that have been on my menu since day one, and I can't take it off. It is people's favorite dish. It's kind of a little bit famous for people that have had this.
Look at you being all modest. It's kind of a bit of a big deal.
Kind of a
People
big deal.
kind of come from all around the world to Dilo to get my deep fried watermelon. I love that you've remixed Uncle's recipe, which is very cool because his already sounded amazing.
Absolutely. So now, to start this recipe, right, there's a lot of elements, so I'm going to work kind of through this.
No problem.
I've got watermelon rinds, right?
Yes.
So we've got the flesh of the watermelon, which we're going to use for the main base.
Okay.
Right? But, you know, we're Asian, so we don't waste anything.
Good.
So when you're doing the watermelon rinds, the pickled watermelon rinds, you want to peel off the skins. Right? And then you're left with the white bit, right?
Right.
So this is all the white bits. We dice them up really nice.
And that's the stuff, we usually are ditching that, but if you can use how are you using it?
So the way you want to pickle it is take some salt, right? And we're going to salt these up. And this is going to draw all that moisture out, right? And it's also going to season the watermelon rind, so it's going to have a nice seasoning. We're going to leave that for about 20 minutes, right? And then we're going to rinse them, right? These are already rinsed, and they're ready to go.
Okay.
And I've got some vinegar on the stove. It's already come up to a boil.
Okay.
And we're going to make a pickling liquid.
Oh, love it.
So to do that, we're going to add some sugar.
Does it matter what kind of vinegar you use?
I like using cider vinegar, right? It's got that slight sweetness, which I really like when you're dealing with a pickle. And I've got some star anise, which is one of my favorite seasonings.
Yes, okay.
So we're going to throw that in there, and once your sugar dissolves, we can pour that right on top of your pickled watermelon rinds, or your watermelon rinds, and that's going to take about like a half hour to an hour, right? The longer you leave it, the better it is. We're not going to use it all. This is actually this is like an arsenal that you can keep in your fridge and just put garnishes, put it in some salads, put it in some cocktails. It's really, really nice to have just as a backup.
And it's going to give it a little bit of a zing?
It's going to give this whole dish a nice zing, and when it's in the cold, it's going to be nice and cool, so you're going to get that acidic coolness, which is going to work really amazing with this dish.
Beautiful. Okay, so the rinds have been pickled. Okay. Now, what's next?
So now we're going to make our sauce, which is a vinaigrette, and it's a Nahm Jim. It's a spicy lime sort of dressing.
Okay.
And I like to do this by mortar and pestle.
Yeah.
And I've got some chili, garlic, and coriander stems, and we're just going to throw those in there.
If we were lazy at home and we didn't want to do the mortar and pestle,
I would just take all of this and throw it in a blender, and you're good to go.
Okay.
But
I like that you're doing it traditional, though.
Yeah, and you know, like, because we're in the restaurants, we like to do things difficult. It's just the way we do.
Make it difficult.
So we're going to throw our palm sugar in there and season it with some fish sauce and some lime juice. And this is going to give it a really great balance. Okay.
Nice.
So that's our sauce done.
So many different flavors happening just in there.
So many flavors in there. We've got a nice finished batch over there. And now for our watermelon. Okay.
Yeah.
So the main component of this dish is the watermelon, and we're going to give it a slight bit of spiciness, right? So you get this kind of spiciness and cooling effect, right? Because watermelon, like as you know, in certain places you put a little bit of chili on there, and you get like that chili spike, and then that watermelon kind of refreshes and cools your palate.
Right.
So I've got some sambal, which we make in house.
You made that.
But you can buy it in a grocery store.
We have that at home.
Like that. Yeah.
I hope that lasts forever because it's been in our fridge for that long.
Yeah, that one's been in my fridge for a long time.
Very good. I like to hear it from the pros. Listen, I need to go back, and we're at the grocery store, and we're trying to find a watermelon for this recipe. Please tell me what I am looking for. Like, what do I need for the watermelon to be for it to withstand the deep frying and all that stuff?
So when you're looking for a watermelon, you're looking for a fairly ripe watermelon, and the way that I was taught was you kind of knock on the watermelon. You
Knock,
listen.
knock, knock.
You listen for a kind of a hollowness.
Is anyone home? So you're listening for a hollowness.
Yeah, you're listening for a hollowness or this
Yeah.
kind of like deep kind of like sound through the watermelon, and you're also looking for a little bit of weight in that watermelon as well.
Okay, because I see people doing it at the grocery store, and I pretend to do it, but I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm listening for. Am I waiting for a response? What's happening? So it's just it needs to sound a little bit echo, hollow, and then okay.
Yes, and.
Talk to me about the deep frying.
All right, so we got a little bit of a deep fry going on here right now.
You got a rolling deep fry.
And this is really great for. Sorry, I'm just gonna grab
Yeah,
a
no
towel
problem.
here.
Oh, sorry. I was like, I should get him a towel. Then I was like, so tell me more about the watermelon. Okay, so you put in the tips to doing this properly and safely at home.
The tip, well, you definitely want to be careful when you're deep frying at home.
Yeah.
You're looking for, about a little bit less than your full pot,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Just because when you put your ingredients in, it's going to boil up, and you
Yep.
want to really be careful about that. And you also want, I like going very, very hot, so it goes very fast, right?
And don't throw them in.
Don't throw them in.
Don't throw them in. Put them in very gently and carefully.
Okay.
Is that all it takes?
That's
huh?
all it takes. So
my
now that we
gosh.
have our watermelon, we're going
Does
to take
anyone have a
these guys
Snickers
out.
bar? Let's try it with that. Okay, but the watermelon looks like it's going to be good too.
All
Oh,
right,
that looks
and
delicious.
to finish this off, right, we're going to put these guys on a plate.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. I know that you're going to be. Well, I'll let you
Yeah.
show them how you finish that one because we have a complete one over there. You've got some sprouts.
And I've got our pickling liquid.
Your pickling rinds.
Rinds, some pork floss, which is like a jerky made into a floss.
This is the pork floss. Never seen it in my life, and now I immediately must have a jar.
And I'm going to take some of this dressing.
It's like he described it as pork cotton candy.
It's like cotton candy. It's quite amazing.
Okay, while you're finishing that and making it look beautiful, I need to share. The last time I was shoving margaritas and chips in my mouth, and I said, okay, I'm going to get an audience member to come up here and try some of this. So in the green shirt, my love, do you eat pork, first of all? Yeah, you. Yeah, come on up. Come on up. Give her a hand, everybody.
And I've got one.
And I'm just going to grab that. Thank you so much. So come on up. Come and stand here.
Okay.
What's your name?
Jessica.
Jessica. I didn't realize there were two green shirts
Yeah.
beside each other. I'm so sorry about that.
Okay.
Okay, so Jessica, ever tried deep fried watermelon?
No, that looks amazing.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Chef, which do you want her to try? One of these?
One of these is perfect.
We have the biggest fork I've ever seen in my life for you to grab.
Oh my gosh.
Just
And I've
grab
got this one for you.
I'm going to take this one. You take
With
one of
my
these.
fork?
Yeah, why not?
Let's go for this one. It's got a lot of that stuff on top.
Yeah.
Oh my God, maybe we should just use our
And
hands.
it's gonna be hot on the outside, cool on the inside, right? If you take a little bit of this on there, it's gonna
Okay.
be nice and cold as
Oh,
well. It's like
okay.
refreshing, it's salty, and it's like
Feel free to use your hands if that's too much.
It's gonna be a flavor bomb.
I'm going to use
and
my
it's-
hands.
Okay, are we doing this right now?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Oh my God. There we go. Good. We're giving it thumbs up. Recipe, cityline.tv. Oh my God.